Please go ahead, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम एवरीवन. नमस्कार, आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. We are going forward in the series of webinars from illness to wellness. Thanks to SOCHM for organizing this webinar. And today we are having a very interesting and a very important topic. Now we all understand the pandemic of COVID. We understand that it is so bad and it is playing havoc with us and with our lives. But there's another pandemic going on in our society, and that pandemic is also worldwide. And that pandemic is causing lots of damage. It's causing damage like a snake. It is behind us. It is with us. It is biting us. I would say literally every moment. And the effects are just not visible immediately as they may be visible of other diseases. And that is the pandemic of obesity. So obesity is something which is virtually literally affecting all of us, and most of the times we actually don't realize what could be the effects of obesity. And it is not such a disease or condition which can be managed with any medicines. So today we have chosen this topic, obesity managed by lifestyle modification. I think it is very important and it is pertinent to each and every one of us who are present and listening. So welcome again. I would request Sri Anil Rajputji, the chairman of CSR committee, SOCHM, to welcome our panelists and start the session. Sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Casey. It's my proud privilege to welcome Dr. Anup Mishra, Padma Shri, Executive Chairman, Fortis CDOC, Center of Excellence for Diabetes, Ms. Kavita Devgan, Nutritious and Weight Management Consultant, Dr. Rajesh Casey, Founder and Director of Total Care Control, distinguished guests and friends. Good morning. What a beginning to a year, and what a year to have left behind. As I speak, lakhs have started to get vaccinated against the COVID virus. A nightmare that continued for most part of 2020 and has till date impacted 95 million with over 2.3 million fatalities. When nothing seems to go right, our medical fraternities, doctors and scientists did something which was nothing short of a miracle. Develop a vaccine, and like how? Today, there are multiple vaccines against this absolutely evil adversary. It is now only a matter of time. The world no longer needs to be petrified of this disease. While the vicious spread of COVID has been halted, there are many permanent problems that continue to plague the human race. Obesity is one of them. Like COVID, it can impact multiple organs and cause death. The last 1 year, if you notice, people were working from home. Working from home has changed the lifestyle of people in many ways. They are walking much less. They are sitting at home with little distractions and perhaps munching also far more and not necessarily healthy food. And this has also added to this complex problem. According to several reports, 34% of Indian population is insufficiently active. As the youngest nation in the world, we have the second highest number of obese children in the world. Let us look at the wide-ranging impact diabetes can have on the body. It can lead to metabolic and hormonal disorders. Being overweight, we can cause insulin resistance and subsequently type 2 diabetes. In fact, obesity and diabetes are twin diseases and are together known as obesity. Being overweight also predisposes individuals to cholesterol-related issues and high blood pressure, along with cardiovascular diseases. In addition, it can increase blood uric acid level and cause painful disease called gout. In women, it can cause polycystic ovarian syndrome, and if left untreated, it can lead to infertility. In addition, obesity is the most common cause of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which can lead to cirrhosis of the liver. And then there is sleep apnea, joint issues, strokes, and so on and so forth. Mentally, it is related to body image issues and causes depression and psychosocial problems. Lifestyle modifications like regular exercises, which can include walking, cycling, jogging, yoga, weight training, along with a low-fat diet that includes a balance between proteins and mineral, can really prevent a lot of complications of obesity. However, the tragedy is that many do it, but after they have suffered a setback. Therefore, we have to incorporate all this before our life is turned upside down. We have today the best of minds on this subject, and we are bound to benefit from their knowledge, wisdom, and deep understanding of this subject at hand. I don't want to stand between you and this expert panel who are going to share with you, and I would like to now hand over this platform to Dr. Rajesh Kesri to have interactive session with Dr. Anup Mishra and Ms. Kavita Devgan. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the kind introduction to the session and to the panelists. So nice of you, sir. Now, as we usually do in all our beginnings, in all our programs, in all our ventures, we start the program with the Ganesh Stuti, Ganesh Vandana. So I would like to start. I wish to invoke Lord Ganesha that this program is also event-free and it goes on successfully and is beneficial to everyone. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvata. We must have recited this Ganesh Stuti so many times, but maybe without realizing some very important aspects of it. Obesity probably has been there in our country since ages, since we understand and since we started revering our gods, since our scriptures were written, obesity is there. So this disease is, or this problem is actually as old as humankind. As we can very interestingly note there, I've started with Ganesh Stuti not without a reason. We can see the very first lines that are there. Vakratunda Mahakaya, the one with the huge belly. It signifies Lord Ganesha with the huge belly in which all the energy of the world, the whole cosmos is concentrated. This actually is the fact about obesity, that the energy is concentrated in us, in our tummy, in our abdomen, and this energy is so much in us that we are not able to bear it, and it is causing different sorts of problems, as Sri Anil Rajputji had mentioned. Interesting, another aspect to Lord Ganesha, that is that there's a serpent, there's a huge serpent around his belly. That serpent is called Kundalini, the wise serpent, or the one giving knowledge. But I would like to look at it in this context as the serpent of disease, which is causing many problems. So maybe we can have some takeaways from here, that this is an old problem, this is an old disease, and we must enlighten ourselves first of all and go ahead and try to get try to make the best of it, and to get away the harms of it. So thankfully for this, today we have uh, one of the stalwarts in this area, someone who has done a lot of research and who's contributed a lot to the society through his work, which is still ongoing. I'd like to welcome once again Professor Dr. Anup Mishra, sir. Welcome, sir. He is the Executive Chairman, Fortis CDOC Hospital for Diabetes and Allied Sciences. He is the Director, National Diabetes, Obesity and Cholesterol Foundation. He is the President, Diabetes Foundation India. And his areas of research interest are diabetes, obesity, and nutrition. And his major achievements are that he has more than 300 published research papers. He's the editor-in-chief, Diabetes and Metabolic Syndrome, Clinical Research and Reviews. He is the Associate Editor, Journal of Diabetes, European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, member of Academic Board of British Medical Journal. He is also the Padma Shri Award awardee, which was awarded by President of India in 2007. And he received the coveted Dr. B.C. Roy Award in the year 2006. And except for these major achievements, I would say that he has some very important achievements. One of the biggest that came out last year was he's among the top 2% scientists of the world by the number of original research publications that he has made in international peer-reviewed journals. So that's a great moment of pride for all of us Indians, that we have, and us especially, all our participants and audience, that we have among us one of the topmost authorities in this topic in the world, who would be helping us and who would be giving his opinion to us. Together with that, he's doing a lot of social activities also. He has a foundation, and he's providing free treatment of diabetes and screening of diabetes to people in far away areas through his with the help of his social organization, non-profit organization. And he has written a number of books also, especially the book about diabetes for the common people, so that they can understand about diabetes and how to take care of themselves. And one of his very important papers and research has been on obesity, on childhood obesity, and he's done a lot of work, and he's making people aware in schools and colleges about the importance of childhood obesity and how to deal with it. So there's a very long list of awards and accolades to Dr. Anup Mishra. Welcome again, sir. Thank you for being with us. Next, I would like to introduce Kavita Devganji. She is an eminent writer, nutritionist, and weight management consultant. She propagates practical, effective, and delicious ways. That's very interesting, to achieve a healthy lifestyle. She is an acclaimed nutritionist with about 20+ years of experience as a weight loss and holistic health consultant, and several thousands of successful weight loss patients. She offers practical and customized programs to her patients, and she has written a number of books which are very interesting and which have helped so many people. Her first book, Don't Diet, 50 Habits of Thin People, was a bestseller and was released in 2016. And her second title, Ultimate Grandmother Hacks, 50 Kick-Ass Traditional Hacks for a Fitter, was released in 2018. And her third book, Fix It with Foods, launched in April 2020, has been endorsed by a number of eminent personalities. And she's also the brand ambassador of many international companies. So welcome Kavita Devganji to this session of our webinar on obesity management with lifestyle. Welcome everyone, sir. I would first of all request Professor Dr. Anup Mishra ji to start the session with few words and with his presentation. Sir.
Thank you. First, let me thank ASSOCHAM and thank Rajput ji for giving me this opportunity. Uh, as usual, with his very dignified manner, and his statements are what we are going to discuss. Actually, what he said in 5 minutes about obesity is what is the crux of obesity. Actually, so but I the way he said, the way he always says, effectively and very precisely. I think that made the context of the whole webinar. Thank you, sir, for inviting me. Thank you, Rajesh, for introducing me. And I thank everybody in the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity. Again, this is my second opportunity with the SFM, and the first one was a very, very pleasant experience, and I had interacted with a lot of people. Now, I'll show you a couple of slides. I don't want to make it a didactic lecture or anything like that. But a couple of slides will be in order to understand what is uh, the knowledge about obesity at this point of time is. Um, Now, as Rajput ji has already said, obesity is harbinger of number of diseases. And close to 40 diseases in the body are related to obesity, and which includes 15 types of cancer. People don't realize it that this, if somebody gets a breast cancer or uterine cancer, then the obesity is the basic cause of that. About 30% to 40% of the cancers are because of obesity itself. In addition, in the current era, the obesity is one of the prime factors for increasing mortality and morbidity in COVID-19. And that's because of the obesity related number of metabolic conditions, including diabetes, and also depression of the respiratory system, which gives easy access to. So those things are background. Obesity becomes more important at this time. And the COVID-19 era, with that kind of background, I'll show you what is the current thinking as far as obesity in India is concerned. I have divided very briefly into 7 parts. Uh, One is rising obesity in India, and you see here, this is the um, National Nutrition Monitoring Urban Survey of 2017 of various states where obesity has been categorized according to the Indian criteria. I'll come to the Indian criteria in a minute. But look at the figures. These are striking figures. And even if we look at some of the so-called economically backward states like Bihar, the obesity is 31 to 34%. And we should go to a more advanced state in terms of economy and urbanization. And you look at the New Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, obesity is 30 to 59%. One more thing to note here is that women are more prone to obesity in India. And you see, if you look at Pondicherry, for example, 32% of the men and 60% of the women, so 20% more than men. And this is something which is very disturbing for women. Somehow, we are seeing more and more number of women being inflicted with obesity-related metabolic diseases, heart disease, and cancers also. So this is the current state of affairs. This is 2017 data, but I'm sure the same data is persisting even now. Number 2, and this is very, very important to understand, that Indians develop diabetes and heart disease at lower levels of weight or obesity. Hence, criteria for diagnosis of obesity must be different than other races. Other races mean white, black, other countries. This is something which is not only confined to India. It is also perhaps true for other South Asian countries around us and also for some other Asian countries. This is something which we realized almost 20 years back when I was in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. There was some studies from Singapore which did the same thing, this thing, that at a lower weight we are developing more problems. And that international criteria for obesity or for abdominal obesity, now obesity defined differently, I'll come to that, and abdominal obesity defined differently, uh, must be different for Indian population. And maybe whatever interventions that we have to do have to start at the lower level of weight and waist circumference. This is the pivotal paper, a paper of great importance. This was published in 2009 in Journal of Association of Physicians of India, has been cited 1,500 times, not only in India, but world over. And in this, we gathered together 150 people from all over the country and took their opinion, also gathered a lot of data, research data, and published that we should have different measures of obesity. Now, this is important from multiple points of view, but most important that if we lower the diagnostic criteria for obesity, almost 5 crore more Indians will be diagnosed as obese. And if they are diagnosed as obese, they perhaps will seek intervention, or maybe a physician will intervene earlier, and this may prevent diabetes and heart. So this single important paper actually was the most important preventive point for diabetes and heart disease in Indian population. Now, what are the criteria given here? Body mass index is one thing that we define obesity, and this is the most important, most easily calculated, and so world over this is number one criteria for obesity. And this is a ratio of weight in kg by meter square. And we said, based on number of such studies that we have done and others have done in India, that the overweight definition from 23 to 24.9 kg per meter square is lower as opposed to internationally 25. And similarly, obesity definition as opposed to 30 lower to 25. And remember, this was 2009, 11 years have gone by. Nobody as yet has touched these criteria. Not only in India, they have been applied in 2015 onwards in UK population of Indians and Pakistanis, and then subsequently adopted by American Diabetes Association for screening for diabetes for all Asian population. This is the kind of world ramification of this simple paper. So not only on BMI, waist circumference. Now some people say, and some research says, indicate that waist circumference is a better indicator for obesity because it reflects occurrence of heart disease and other diseases more correctly as compared to BMI. And I'll show you how waist circumference is done. International criteria is 102 centimeters in men. Here we made a criteria based on research paper published by me and my colleagues from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, 90 centimeters for men and 80 centimeters for women. Now, very interestingly, while we were working on this, there were other groups working elsewhere in other countries in Asia, and all came to the same conclusion. And hence, the WHO and International Obesity Task Force, they had already were thinking about changing the definition, and this is more universally accepted in many population and many countries. This is the way. There's the Indian Heart Journal, our publication on how to treat obesity in Indian population. This is the way the waist circumference is done. I'm not going to go into detail, but a single tape measure will be enough. In person is standing position and at horizontal level, so tape is above bone here, what is called as anterior superior iliac spine. You can feel the bone here at this level. Above that, do that with more than 90%, more than 80%, no, more than 90 centimeter and more than 80 centimeter in men and women, then the risk for heart disease and diabetes is going to be high. So having said that, our criteria for obesity is different, there are other markers also, which may indicate that not only patient is obese, but also patient is prone to develop multiple other problems soon enough. And here also we have researched and published a lot of papers. It's very interesting because you don't have to be a doctor to actually observe this and identify this. And sometimes I sit in the conference in behind some people and I look at the neck of the people and say, well, this person is going to develop diabetes and this person is not going to develop diabetes. And what are those criteria? Look at this. This is what is called as ectopic fat deposition in sites other than what it is usually found, the ectopic. And one is the hump type of deposition over the neck, what is called as buffalo hump. Like a buffalo has a lot of hump that stores a lot of nutrition, similarly in camel. But here, this is a marker for diabetes. So this is buffalo hump. And similarly, in front of neck, if you look at this, this is a guy without a double chin, but here is a double chin. There's an additional deposition of fat here. And you can very well see in any patient, just with open shirt or open whatever a woman is wearing, where neck is exposed, you can see both sides of the neck and say, well, you should get a blood sugar and a couple of other checks done tomorrow. There is another sign. Now this particular figure, we have published this. This is the back of the neck of a person who's pre-diabetic, and his weight is 105 kg and BMI is 34.5. Look at this. The hump is very obvious, but also a deep dark pigmentation over the back of the neck, what is called an acanthosis nigricans, indicates marked problem in internal metabolism, what is called as insulin resistance. Means insulin is not acting in these people, and they will have, because of the inability of action of insulin, soon elevation of blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and so on. So you can see three things in the neck and tell a patient, well, you are prone to some disease. So having told you about BMI, having told you about waist circumference and lower definition in Indians and some markers in the neck which can indicate a problematic further problems in the future, let's go to the abdomen. I think abdomen is the most important part, where we often cannot see inside unless we do certain tests. So best measure still of abdominal fat remains waist circumference measurement. But for us who are researchers or clinicians and so on, there are a couple of other tests which we have done and seen a pattern in Indian population. And I'm intrigued, I'm very interested how this occurs. But I have no answers to that. But data occurs. And what occurs? Let's see next. If you look at this, don't get perturbed about this diagram. I'll make it simple for you. I have taken the same guy where waist circumference was being done on the left side. And what is on the right side is a picture of magnetic resonance image, MRI. I know everybody knows about MRI. But MRI is a research tool for obesity. And we have done MRI at this level of the waist circumference. What you see in the white is all fat. Now this is beneath the skin. As you can see, this is the skin and this is beneath the skin. And there is some fat inside the abdomen, below the muscles, etc., around the organs. These are two different types of fat. In Indian population, both types of fat is very big, much more than the Western population. So subcutaneous fat here and intra-abdominal fat here, both are big. But still, If we combine the whole subcutaneous and intra-abdominal fat, it just is 9 kg in a 70-year-old man. It's not much, but that 9 kg is solid bowl of fire, because that's where the problems arise. Lots of bad substances are released from these two sides. But Indian population particularly high, even if they're not visibly very obese. I'll come to that a little later. So there are fat depots in Indians which are different from the Western population. And if we go further, now I often show this to in my many conferences that India has a lot of problems as far as their security is concerned, and these are our security people. But what I'm going to show you is not the security people from outside, from the inside. Now, these are both obese. This is a younger guy and this is an older guy. Liver. Look at the liver. This is a histopathology of liver. Now, you may not know this, what it is, but just simple to note these dirty type of dark spots. These are or inflammation, like a fire in the liver, occurring because of fat in the liver. And in this guy is much more chaotic, total chaos in the liver. And that's what Rajputji was saying about non-alcoholic fatty liver. Both were, these people have not taken a single drop of alcohol throughout their life. It is all due to obesity. And look at this, further going on to cirrhosis of liver and may convert to cancer as well. Currently, worldwide, obesity is #1 cause of liver disease, and India also, and also is significant cause of liver cancer. So this is inside the abdomen. Unless we do some tests, we will not know. Now, not only this, if liver is enlarged and you are currently, your rest of the blood parameters are okay. If liver is enlarged, then you are much more prone to diabetes. So both ways, diabetes begets large liver, which goes on to develop cirrhosis and cancer. And if you have large liver, that begets diabetes. There's bi-directional relationship. This is the fatty liver. Look at this big, huge liver. And we have researched this earlier. This is the liver, which is 11 centimeter, and this liver is around 22 centimeter. And around 15 centimeter, if it goes larger than that, your chances of diabetes are almost 100%. So look at this importance of liver. And Indian livers are particularly bad as compared to the Western population. We have to protect our liver by diet, lifestyle, exercise, and so on. The crux of the problem. Now, fifth, and I have referred already to this earlier, apparently non-obese Indians. So some people say, oh, I'm not obese. Look at me. My weight is okay. Non-obese Indians have a lot of internal fat and number of metabolic abnormalities. This is something why we have lowered the criteria for BMI and waist circumference. Now, if you see this, this is the market area in South Delhi. Look at this guy. This guy is a lean guy. He has cycles 5 kilometers per day. His BMI is 19.5, waist circumference 84. BMI on the lower side and waist circumference normal. This guy probably will never develop any diabetes or maybe heart disease also. And look at this guy. Now, if you look at him, you say, well, he's not too obese. No. Look at this, 35 years old, runs a small shop, sedentary, BMI normal. So he's not obese. But if you look at the waist circumference, it's crossing 90 centimeters. Look at it. And this is the guy where the fat below the skin and inside the abdomen and liver is going to be huge. So even slight increase here will be devastating. And that's what Indians are, even slight increase and they get diabetes. Now, we have been talking about, sorry, there is something else here. This is one research area where people have divided who are metabolically normal people and metabolically abnormal. Metabolic means blood pressure is high, sugar is high, cholesterol is high, and so on. They compared in this research was done in USA. They compared whites, Chinese, Africans, Hispanics, and South Asians here. South Asians here. Look at this. And look at normal weight individual and people who are metabolically abnormal in this normal weight individual. The top of the line are South Asians. Normal weight, metabolically abnormal. They have plenty of blood pressure is also high, sugar is going to be high, cholesterol is high, triglyceride is high, good cholesterol is low. Look at that. And in fact, once they become overweight and obese, it is not so much of different from others. It is the normal weight individual. And we have been talking about fat. This is last two slides or so. We often don't talk about the muscles. And very interestingly, and long time back, 14, 15 years back, we researched the muscles of Indian people and found there is plenty of fat inside the muscle. They're not muscles, they're fatty muscles, like fatty liver. They have fatty muscles. And we can use apparatus which is called as JAMAR, uh, apparatus for testing the grip strength, JAMAR dynamometer, which will actually look at the function of the muscle. And somebody in UK compared JAMAR dynamometer in whites, blacks, and South Asian, found the weakest muscle in Indian population. And independent of body fat, body weight, any other habit, this alone, weakness of the muscle alone, actually predicted the diabetes. So we are looking at fat, we have to look at the muscles also. And the weak muscle, the weaker it is, more chances of fat, even if you're normal weight. So all the things are important, decreasing the body fat, decreasing liver fat, but also improving the muscle strength. So, and that's where Kavita may subsequently comment, and we can take questions and answers. Treatment of obesity in Indian population starts at lower weight and should be very, very aggressive. Otherwise, the things are going to go abnormal in most of the people who are even slight overweight and also obese people. So this is the type of diagram that we made for in the same consensus meeting, where we said when should we start diet, exercise, behavioral therapy, and some treatment like drugs for obesity and bariatric surgery. This line is for Indians and this line is for the international. So our line shows that we start at a lower weight. Everything, diet, exercise, behavioral therapy, pharmacotherapy, bariatric surgery at a lower weight than the Western population. So I hope I have clarified the type of obesity that we have, the type of dangers that are ahead of us. More than any other races, we encounter twice the amount of dangers and twice the amount of roadblocks, and we have to do twice the amount to actually circumvent. So thank you for giving me this opportunity again, and thank you, Asokam, for letting me clarify these concepts. I can be, these slides can be taken off.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anup Mishra. That was very interesting, very useful, and very informative presentation. And all the topics that you've brought up were actually very interesting. And I would say, in certain ways, they're very novel, I think, for all the audience and even for the doctors who are listening to us. That the problem we have is actually very peculiar. It is not the standard problem that we keep on reading in the Western journals and the Western literature. Thank you so much, sir. I have a question I would say is my personal question. And such question comes from me from patients also. That one thing is that I never used to eat anything. मैं तो कभी ज़्यादा खाती नहीं थी. And I know myself that when I was in college, I was quite lean. I think I was around 50. That's what my wife tells. But what happens? Why do we start gaining weight? In fact, at that time, I used to eat lot more than I'm eating now, and I ate in the meantime. Since I started practicing seeing diabetes patients, I became aware that I have to control my diet. But what happens in the human body? Why do we gain weight over a period of time? Why, sir?
Okay. There are a couple of changes which occur over a period of time once you age, and these are different in the males and in the females. Now, in the males, the trajectory of weight gain starts somewhere around 30, 35 years of age, and then it continues over a period of time, and depending on their diet and exercise. There are a number of physiological changes which occur. For example, the capacity of the fat cells to store fat in the superficial sites like subcutaneous tissues becomes less. And as a result, whatever we eat is diverted, the fat is diverted from superficial side, which is the storage side, to the internal side, which is the intra-abdominal fat and liver fat. As a result, the fat is preferentially deposited in the abdomen, preferentially in the liver, and also intra-abdominal side, and it doesn't budge. It becomes majorly resistant to exercise, diet over as the age progresses. And the insulin resistance starts occurring because of these changes. The metabolism also slows down, and the muscles also start to wither, and so locomotion also becomes not so much if person is not adhering to the lifestyle. Now, this is what occurs as far as the males are concerned. In females, the transition is more sudden when the menopause occurs. So while this is occurring on, menopause is something which is the total crash of a vessel, and total metabolic changes, the hormones which actually lead to burning of the fat they gradually and become zero. And for accumulation of fat, those hormones go up a little. And so after 50, or after menopause, the females have major increase in the not only abdominal fat, redistribution of fat, it becomes more of abdominal fat, and increase in the weight and increase in the heart rate. So this is the usual phenomena. Unless you are doing gradually increasing exercise or maintaining your exercise and diet over a period of time, you're going to get weight, especially true for Indian population.
Thank you so much. That was a very interesting ramification that as age progresses, we all are going to gain weight and we may develop all the problems that Sir has been talking about. Kavita ji, do you find it difficult in your patients to lose or to change weight? I would rather ask you this question, not lose weight only, but change weight. Is it difficult actually?
You are talking about set point, basically. Once the body
Maybe.
gets used to a.
Yes.
See, the thing is that I have always believed that with weight loss, the only tool that really works is time and support. You have to give it time. You can't expect your weight to suddenly change, because if you do expect that, it's not going to work. It is going to come back, which is where the fat diets come in. People do lose weight, but they end up gaining much more because of the set point. The body is used to a certain weight. So if you want the body to move away from that weight and go to a lower weight, then you have to do it in a step-by-step fashion. You have to give it time. You have to slowly change the weight and give it the support to maintain it at a lower weight. So it will be a long drawn process, which is where people lose patience and which is where the problems always start, because everyone wants a quick fix today. The point is, we live in a time of convenience, and we live in the time of convenient foods, convenient transport. So for weight loss also, people want something very convenient, something which is very quick. But the fact is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is probably not going to be true. And that really applies for weight loss. There is no shortcut for it. So if a person is very stable at a certain weight, if it is recent weight gain, you will be able to knock it off very fast. But if you've been at a higher weight for a very long period of time, you will have to give it time and slowly bring it down in a step-by-step fashion, giving it the right support, giving it the right diet. And by diet, I don't mean lower calories here. Here, I mean the right nutrients, which keep our hormones stable. Because when you try to knock off weight very fast, you do not end up losing weight because the hormones go completely against you. So if we have to move from a set point, you have to go in a very stepwise fashion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I'd just like to set the stage for people to understand the process of weight loss, and then we'll move over to the specifics of weight loss. So I'd like to request you, what I've seen in that when people understand the reasons why things are happening, what is happening, and especially people who have chronic diseases like diabetes, obesity, they act much better and in a more consistent fashion. Would you please like to add on to this? And how does weight actually change? How does it decrease? Why does it decrease if you do some sort of intervention?
Sorry, sir, say it again. I
It's simple.
could not.
Sir, would you like to expand on this, the process of weight loss? How and why does it happen when we do something?
Okay. So there are a couple of things here, and that's very interesting. In addition to what Kavita has already said,
Yes.
if you do only exercise and no diet, you will probably not lose much of a weight. Why so? Because the exercise will generate the appetite, and you will tend to eat more, and so you compensate whatever you've lost. So some people say, "Oh, I exercise 90 minutes a day, and I have not lost weight," because they have compensated, because the appetite is a very, very driving factor. You cannot suppress that. So unless it is suppressed, you will not lose weight, or maybe some people gain weight. Now, if you do moderate amount of exercise, say 200 calories you are spending in a day on a treadmill, and you decrease your diet by 50 or 300 calories, say 1600 calorie diet you're taking, you go on to 1200 calorie diet. That means a deficit of 500 calories per day, which means in 20 days you will have a deficit of 10,000 calories. Now 1 kg, to lose 1 kg of weight, 7,000 calories. 7,000 calories. It's a mixture of fat, muscle, and water. So you will mathematically, you will lose 1 kg of weight around 15 to 16 days time if you are doing this much consistently. But that is not all. The mathematics, weight loss is never mathematics. The body adaptation to the whole thing starts in around 10 days to 15 days time. And once it starts to adapt, the mathematics goes wrong, and your weight loss potential of this mathematics goes haywire, and you lose less of weight. Now, some people may not still lose weight. There are some people, 2% of the population is like this, that you do everything, throw at them, and still they will not lose it. These are usually people who are beyond 50 years of age, women who are postmenopausal, and so on. Those are highly resistant type of people who will not lose weight. We have to do something.
Okay, thank you. So we understand from this conversation that body tries to maintain the weight that the body has, and whatever you try to do, the body will adapt itself, its conditions to keep and maintain the weight that it has. So obviously we have to do something to change the body's way of thinking and the body's way of functioning. So that is what the diet and other interventions would be. So are there any medicines, any diseases which may cause gain in weight? I mean, if the person is doing everything normal, eating normal, working, exercising, still the person may be gaining weight. Are there any such medications?
Okay, so there are many medications and many diseases where weight gain may be a problem, but I'll only tell you about the common medication, because common things, because most of the
Yes,
people who are hearing this more than 250 people have logged in, they will understand thyroid surely, because everybody probably has heard of it. So low function of thyroid, depending on how much low function it is, will lead to gain of weight or not let weight go down. Some people are very sensitive to slight elevation of thyroid and the weight does not go down. Some people are they have more of a low thyroid function and then they gain weight or do not lose weight. So that's a common condition, and there are many other conditions. As far as the medicines are concerned, one of the common medicine which is being used these days is corticosteroids for COVID-19. But corticosteroids are being used for many other conditions, including organ transplantation and arthritis and so on. And these drugs not only lead to gain in weight, but also gain in sugar and blood pressure. So, but there are many other drugs also. For example, the many drugs used in psychiatric medication may lead to weight gain.
Yes, thank you so much. That was very interesting, sir. Kavita ji, I would like to ask from you, do you see the problem of weight in children also, and what do you do about it? Do you have many children who are obese or overweight?
Yes, of course. I don't have too many clients because I don't really put them onto diets per se, but it is very obvious. You just have to look around to see the problem of obesity in children and how quickly it is growing in today's time. There are a lot of factors for it, and which are all very, very obvious, I think. Adults have a low activity issue, but with children, it's becoming a far greater problem. The lowered activity, more access to junk food, forgetting the traditional way of eating, not really eating the normal home cooked food, all of these. And in addition to that, also, I think the stress, which earlier stress and children were two words never used together. But probably today, unfortunately, that's not true. So that again is playing havoc with their weights. So to answer your question, the problem is very prevalent. It's very, very obvious. And with them, the solution lies, of course, in a complete holistic lifestyle change. Just putting them on a diet has never worked, will never work. It doesn't work with adults. How will it work with children? You know, the very word diet has a negative connotation. You tell it to an adult to go on a diet and the stress you have to see on their face. Telling a child is completely impossible. So the fact is, education of parents first, because only when they know the facts will they be able to actually make sure that their children follow them, and leading by example. So whenever there's a child who comes to me for counseling, it's the parent I counsel first, because that definitely gets far better results, I feel.
I think that was a very wonderful point that you've put forward, that children will follow the examples of the parents. So if there's a problem with the children, then the parents should first be counseled and they should make changes in their lifestyles, which the children will automatically follow by themselves. डॉक्टर अनूप मिश्रा सर, आपने बहुत काम किया है चाइल्डहुड ओबेसिटी पे और अभी तक आपका प्रयास जारी है. आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
जो हमने प्रोग्राम बनाया था, जो कि it encompassed close to 30 schools in whole of North India, और वर्ल्ड डायबिटीज फाउंडेशन के फंडिंग से हमने किया था. तो उसमें करीब करीब हमने 150,000 टोटल पॉपुलेशन इंक्लूडिंग चिल्ड्रन कवर किए थे. मैंने उसमें हमने देखा था, हमने जो प्रोग्राम बनाया था, हमने ये देखा था अगर आप केवल चिल्ड्रन को बताएं तो वो कुछ समझेंगे, कुछ नहीं समझेंगे. आप केवल पेरेंट को बताएं, वो कुछ समझेंगे, कुछ नहीं समझेंगे. और आप टीचर्स को बताएं, वो कुछ समझेंगे, नहीं समझेंगे. आपको तीनों को साथ लेना पड़ेगा. और 8 घंटे वो टीचर्स के साथ रहते हैं और 12 घंटे पेरेंट के साथ रहते हैं. दोनों को साथ लेकर आप नहीं चलेंगे तो 100% फेलियर है आपका. जो भी आप कहेंगे वो सब बेकार है. तो ऑल्सो करिकुलम में होना चाहिए मोर एम्फेसिस ऑन द डाइट एंड एक्सरसाइज एज फार एज चिल्ड्रन इज कंसर्न्ड. also will depend on the principals of the school, क्योंकि कई प्रिंसिपल अलाउ करती हैं सारे जंक फूड in the canteen because maybe they have long contract or whatever it is. और कई प्रिंसिपल कहते हैं आपको कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम सारा हेल्दी रखते हैं. और मैंने जाकर हर स्कूल को विजिट करके हमने खाया है जो उन्होंने हेल्दी रखा था. एक बात जैसे कि पेरिशेबल फूड है, जैसे फ्रूट है, फ्रूट रखते नहीं है कोई कैंटीन वाले, क्योंकि आज किसी ने नहीं खाया तो कल खराब हो जाएगा, तो उनका फायदा नहीं होगा। तो तीनों लोगों को लेकर जाना। और कविता जी ने बिल्कुल सही कहा, हमने एक पेपर पब्लिश किया था, हमने देखा था कि जो माए जो मदर जो है वो ओबीज हैं, उनके चिल्ड्रन ओबीज, 100% कोरिलेशन है दोनों में, दोनों की हैबिट्स में कोरिलेशन है। व्हाट दे कुक एट होम आल्सो, the shared environment at home and shared environment in the school both actually are important. ये कहना बच्चों से कि आप बिल्कुल नहीं खाएंगे वो बिल्कुल गलत है, क्योंकि वो पेयर प्रेशर में रहते हैं। तो आप ये कहिए आप सैटरडे को खाइए, आप संडे को खाइए, बट बाकी दिन में आप ट्राई टू इनकॉर्पोरेट मोर हेल्दी हैबिट्स। दिस इज हाउ इट शुड बी।
थैंक यू सो मच, दैट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। अभी हमने काफी बात की कि वेट लॉस करना जरूरी है, कब करना सबको जरूरी है, बच्चों को भी ध्यान देना जरूरी है। कविता जी, अगर किसी के मन में आया है कि चलो हमें सब समझ में आ गया, हम अपना वजन कम करेंगे, तो कहाँ से शुरुआत करें, कैसे शुरुआत करें? बहुत मुश्किल सवाल है, आपको दिया है हमने।
नहीं, बिल्कुल मुश्किल नहीं है, ये एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन है। ये क्वेश्चन में बहुत टाइम ग्रैपल करती रहती थी अपनी प्रैक्टिस में, एंड आई फाइनली गॉट द आंसर फॉर इट, और इट हैज बीन वर्किंग वंडर्स सिंस देन। इनफैक्ट मेरी पहली बुक में ये पहला चैप्टर है डोंट डाइट में। सबसे पहले जहां से शुरुआत करनी चाहिए वो होती है एक क्वेश्चन अपने आप से पूछना कि मुझे वेट कम क्यों करना है। व्हाट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई वांट टू लूज वेट? द व्हाई इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि जब आपको अपना वाई पता होता है कि क्या वो कॉस्मेटिक रीजन है, यू हैव अ ऑफिस प्रेजेंटेशन मीटिंग कमिंग अप एंड यू वांट टू लुक प्रोफेशनल, या फिर कोई फैमिली वेडिंग आ रही है और जनरल लुक्स के लिए आप करना चाहते हो, या कोई एक रेड फ्लैग है और डॉक्टर हैज गिवन यू एन अल्टीमेटम कि आपकी ब्लड शुगर बढ़ रही है, या आपकी फैमिली हिस्ट्री बहुत खराब है, और यू लॉस्ट समवन इन द फैमिली बिकॉज ऑफ ओबेसिटी। सो फाइंडिंग आउट द रीजन आपको वेट क्यों कम करना है और उसको क्लियरली समझना is a big motivator. The more reasons you can find, the more motivation you can find. And then not just you begin right, जैसे आपने कहा कहाँ से आप शुरू करो, you will also stay on the course. क्योंकि आप एक बार रियलाइज करेंगे कि आपको क्यों कम करना है। इट्स नॉट अ शॉर्ट टर्म फैंसी कि जी हम वेट कम करें, only then it works. Then you can go according to a plan. So beginning is very important, but wo beginning aapko, when you begin right, by knowing the reason, you will make sure you stay on the course and you lose weight the right way and reach till the goal. That is, I believe, the most important thing everyone should do. The first exercise.
कविता जी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मेरा जैसे कोई पेशेंट आपके पास आता है हु इज हैविंग a BMI of around 28, 29, which is average, and the patient says कि देखिए मैं तो खाली 2 ही रोटी खाती हूँ दिन में 2 बार, और कोई बीच में कुछ खाती वाती हूँ नहीं, और सुबह भी मैं नाश्ता हेल्दी करती हूँ, कॉर्नफ्लेक्स लेती हूँ या 2 पीस ब्रेड खाती हूँ, और दिन में 1-2 बार चाय पीती हूँ। डॉक्टर साहब फिर भी मेरा वजन इतना ज्यादा क्यों है, और आप तो मुझे बोल रहे हो कि वजन कम करो कम करो कम करो, तो आप उसको इन शॉर्ट क्या सलाह देंगे?
शॉर्ट तो है नहीं आंसर इसका, बिल्कुल भी। इसका आंसर जो है वो एक स्टेप बाय स्टेप पैटर्न से चलता है। मुझे लगता है वेट लॉस जो है वो कभी भी डाइटिंग से नहीं होएगा। अगर आप किसी को बोल दो कि आप डाइट पे चले जाओ आपका वेट चला जाएगा, वो नहीं होने वाला। इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग हियर इज व्हाट आई डू विद एवरीवन इज, जो फर्स्ट काउंसलिंग सेशन होता है, ये सब अपने आप से भी कर सकते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है आपको किसी के पास जाना है करने के लिए। आप एक हैबिट्स ऑडिट करिए, आप रियलाइज करिए, बिकॉज फूड एमनीजिया जो है ना, कि हम भूल जाए हमने क्या खाया है, वो इतना कॉमन है जो कि हम रियलाइज नहीं करते। जब मैं फूड हैबिट्स पूरा एक ऑडिट करती हूँ ना लोगों के साथ, उसमें असली में निकलता है कि आप क्या खाते हो, कितना खाते हो, कहाँ गलत जाते हो। और वो मेरे लिए जरूरी नहीं है, सिर्फ उनके लिए भी जरूरी है। जब वो बोलते हैं वो रियलाइज करते हैं कि ये हम गलत कर रहे हैं। तो एक हैबिट्स ऑडिट करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, रियलाइज करना कि आपके हैबिट स्ट्रक्चर इस वक्त क्या है, व्हाट आर द रीजंस बिकॉज ऑफ विच यू गेन्ड वेट। पहले वो एक डिटरमिन करना बहुत जरूरी है। जब आपने वो ऑडिट कर लिया, आपने फिगर आउट कर लिया कि दीज आर माई रॉन्ग हैबिट्स, बस उसका काम वहीं खत्म, आप उसको साइड में रखिए। उसके बाद आप जिस चीज पे फोकस करेंगे वो है कि आप जो करेक्ट हैबिट्स हैं जिनसे लोगों का वेट कम होता है वो इनकॉर्पोरेट करना शुरू करेंगे अपनी डाइट में, लाइफस्टाइल में, नॉट जस्ट डाइट, लाइफस्टाइल में, जिसमें कि माइंड, बॉडी एंड फूड सब कुछ इंक्लूडेड होता है। तो जब आप सही हैबिट्स डालना शुरू करेंगे तो जो रॉन्ग हैबिट्स हैं वो अपने आप क्राउड आउट हो जाएंगे। फॉर एग्जांपल, मैं आपको एक सिंपल 1-2 एग्जांपल्स इसके देती हूँ। अगर आप ने रियलाइज करा है कि आपकी प्रॉब्लम, जैसे ये सपोजिंग जो एग्जांपल आपने दिया था, उनकी ही प्रॉब्लम ये निकलती है कि वो रोटी तो 2 ही खाते हैं मील्स में, पर इन बिटवीन मील्स मंच बहुत करते हैं, जो कि कोई रजिस्टर नहीं करता। सपोजिंग एक ये प्रॉब्लम उनकी निकलती है, और भी बहुत निकल सकती है। अगर ये प्रॉब्लम उनकी निकलती है तो उनको ये बोलना कि आप मंचिंग बंद कर दीजिए नहीं काम करेगा, बिकॉज वो तो एक आदत है, उस वक्त उनकी बॉडी को आदत है कुछ खाने की। तो इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट, अगर हम बोलें कि आप 11 बजे एक फ्रूट खाएंगे और आप 5 बजे रोस्टेड चना खाएंगे, तो वो अपने आप जो बैड हैबिट है मंचिंग की, रॉन्ग फूड्स को क्राउड आउट कर देगी। सिमिलरली देयर आर पीपल जो चाय बहुत पीते हैं, 10, 11, 12 कप पीते हैं। अब वो रियलाइज नहीं करते, हर बार ही 2 चम्मच चीनी डाल रहे हैं, हर बार ही थोड़ा दूध डाल रहे हैं, और वैसे भी एसिडिटी क्रिएट कर रहा है बॉडी में। अगर आप उनको बोले कि आप 2 कप तो चाय लीजिए, सुबह वाली जरूर लीजिए और शाम वाली 5 वाली जरूर लीजिए, आप 10 बजे भी एक ग्रीन टी लीजिए, आप 4 बजे भी एक ग्रीन टी लीजिए, आप 7 बजे भी एक ग्रीन टी लीजिए। तो व्हेन यू ऐड राइट फूड्स टू योर डाइट, वो रॉन्ग फूड्स अपने आप क्राउड आउट हो जाते हैं। देयर आर पीपल हैव रियलाइज्ड कि ऑफिस से, चलो अभी आप ऑफिस भी नहीं है, घर में ही है, 6 बजे 7 बजे उनको कुछ नमक खाने की जरूरत लगती है। डिनर टाइम अभी बहुत दूर है, 9 बजे है उनका। मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आई नो, 80% मेस अप बिटवीन 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock शाम को। तो अगर उस वक्त उनको मैं बोलूं फ्रूट खाओ, वो शायद नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज उनकी बॉडी को सॉल्ट चाहिए उस वक्त। तो आप उनको ये मत बोलो कि आप कुछ मत खाओ, आप उनको ये बोलो कि आप 6:30 बजे यू मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव अ कप ऑफ सूप। तो वो फिलिंग भी हो जाएगा, सॉल्ट भी चला जाएगा, और उनका जो डिनर का हंगर जो एक लेवल पहुंचता है वो भी ब्लंट हो जाएगा। सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज कि डाइट पे डालना इज नॉट द सॉल्यूशन। द सॉल्यूशन इज फिगरिंग आउट वेयर यू गोइंग रॉन्ग, एंड एवरीवन इज ऑब्वियसली गोइंग रॉन्ग समवेयर, तभी उनका वेट बढ़ा है। और यू अटैक ईच हैबिट वन बाय वन एंड चेंज दोज हैबिट्स। ये एक प्रोफेशनल तो हम लाइक मी तो करते ही हैं, डॉक्टर्स भी करते हैं, बट लोग खुद भी कर सकते हैं। इट्स जस्ट अ वेरी वेरी, जैसे आप अपनी प्रेजेंटेशंस और अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स हैंडल करते हैं, उस तरीके से आप अपनी बॉडी और अपने वेट को भी हैंडल कर सकते हैं एज अ प्रोजेक्ट।
Very true, very true. I think this is a very wonderful takeaway message, that you take your health and your body weight as a project and you'll definitely achieve the results as you achieve in everything else. Sir, I would request you first, जो अभी कविता जी ने बताया है उसको थोड़ा expand करें, so that people may try to understand the I would say the physiological logic behind it, कि how the stomach adapts and the hormones, maybe in short, टू हंगर एंड फीडिंग। हम क्यों खाते हैं और हम इस आदत को बदल सकते हैं क्या?
देखिए, इसमें इट्स अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस जो हंगर की होती है, और ये डिपेंड करता है लोगों में, एक में ज़्यादा होती है, एक में कम होती है।
जी
तो
जी
इंडिविजुअल वेरिएशन इन दिस। बट अगर जैसे कि कोई चीज हमने खाई, हमने एक एप्पल खाया और वो स्टमक में गया,
जी
और जहाँ आगे जाने लगा वहाँ हार्मोन्स कुछ सिक्रीट होते हैं।
जी
उसमें जैसे कि एक दो नेम मैं करूँ तो न्यूरोपेप्टाइड वाई होता है या GLP-1 होता है। ये सब जाकर ब्रेन में एक प्लेस होती है आर्कुएट न्यूक्लियस, वहाँ पर काम करते हैं और उसके आगे भी जाते हैं, मीजोलम्बिक रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम जिसको कहते हैं। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि कुछ लोगों में वो एपेटाइट को कम कर देते हैं और कुछ लोगों में उनका ज्यादा फर्क नहीं होता। But 80 to 90% people will respond to these hormones. Now, these hormones are secreted more by a couple of things and less by a couple of things. For example, let's say, कविता जी ने बताया कि snacks का importance in the evening and so on. There is a clear study which says कि अगर हम प्रोटीन ज़्यादा लें, प्रोटीन का बोलस लें, सपोज हमने एक ड्रिंक ले ली, प्रोटीन की आधा गिलास का प्रोटीन में डालकर ड्रिंक ले ली, जहाँ आपने ड्रिंक ली तो एक तो फास्टर उसका प्रोसेस होगा स्टमक में एंड इंटेस्टाइन आइलियम में। द मोमेंट इट रीचेस देयर इज अ ग्रेट सर्ज ऑफ इंटरल्यूकिन, सॉरी, द GLP-1 बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट। और जो एक्सपेरिमेंटल स्टडी में दिखाया है कि जहां प्रोटीन को उन्होंने 15% एनर्जी इनटेक पर डे से 30% पर बढ़ा दिया, appetite crashed like this and GLP-1 increased like this, and so they lost. So within the same food, if we choose the food carefully and choose the food which do not increase glucose level to the same degree and insulin level and increase these hormones, which may be complex carbohydrate, which may be the monounsaturated fatty acid rich food or proteins, these are all good. They can, within the same calorie, this food becomes much better and appetite becomes lower. Now, not everybody is so accomplished like Kavita is, you know. There are thousands of dietitians out there. And I can tell you, if I start interviewing, I'm not a dietitian, but I have enough knowledge, 10% will pass my test because they don't know many things. Diet is extremely important. How to place a diet, and depending on a person's total phenotype, इसको phenotype कहते हैं, उसके लिए आपको पास्ट हिस्ट्री में जाना पड़ेगा पर्सन की, उसके लिए उसके स्ट्रेस पे जाना पड़ेगा, उसके स्लीप साइकिल पर जाना पड़ेगा, उसके अपार्ट फ्रॉम एक्सरसाइज एक्सेट्रा. तो कई लोग हमारे पास कम से कम 15% ऐसे लोग आते हैं जिनकी स्लीप साइकिल ही पूरी उल्टी है, और रात को उठकर वो 12 बजे जो खाना शुरू करते हैं वो 3 बजे तक खाते रहते हैं और कहते हैं साहब हमारी तो शुगर बिल्कुल सुबह बिल्कुल. वंस यू गो बैक टू द हिस्ट्री, दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. तो एक बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस है, हमको पूरी हैबिट की हिस्ट्री लेनी है, देन क्या खाते हैं, उनका प्रेफरेंस क्या है, उसके हिसाब से हमको डाइट बनानी है. It takes 1 hour for a proper diet consultation to be done versus 15 minutes with me as far as diabetes consultation. My job is simpler, but not every dietitian does the same job. This is the problem. They claim that they can reduce weight in a person in these many days. It doesn't happen. Neither do they do a good job of it.
Thank you, sir. I think there's some very, very important takeaways from जो अभी sir ने बोला कि first of all, there is no shortcut, there is no one single remedy, and probably if I'm right, that we should not give much importance to the commercials कि आप ये खा लीजिए, आपका वजन कम हो जाएगा, ये पाउडर ले लीजिए, चूरन ले लीजिए. So it is a long run process and it takes quite a lot of time. And one more thing I would like to put in a simpler way is कि हम जो खाते हैं, क्यों खाते हैं, कितना खाते हैं और हम कब कैसे खाते हैं, हम कम खाते हैं, ये सब हमारे दिमाग से, हमारे मन से होता है. हमारा ब्रेन इसको कंट्रोल कर रहा है. तो खाली खाना ही इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, जो हमारा ब्रेन उसको कंट्रोल करना है, उसको भी साथ साथ रखना है, उसको भी बदलने का समय देना जरूरी है. वन इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग दैट आई फेल्ट, जो कविता जी ने कहा है कि making a food diary is very important as we do our dietary recall. तो ये सब चीजें कुछ बहुत important है. कविता जी, taking the ball forward from जो सर ने कहा कि like what we call the satiety factor, कुछ खाने की चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जो खा के हमारा पेट भर जाता है, तो हमें भूख ज्यादा नहीं लगती, वो हमें कैलोरी कम देती हैं, ऊर्जा कम देती हैं, बट वी फील फुलर. कुछ हमें इसके बारे में बताइए.
जैसे डॉक्टर मिश्रा ने कहा, विच इज एक्चुअली द क्रक्स ऑफ डाइट. आप सेम 1200 या 1500 कैलोरी खा सकते हैं, पर आप उसके बाद बिल्कुल भूखे रह सकते हैं कि जी मेरे को कुछ खाने को नहीं मिल रहा, और आप सेम अमाउंट ऑफ कैलोरीज में ऐसे खा सकते हैं कि स्लोली आपका एपेटाइट ही डैम्पन होना चला जाता है और आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ कैलोरीज उतनी चाहे रहे, पर वो पोर्शन जो है आपको उतने से सेटिस्फैक्शन होने लगती है. उसके लिए मैक्रोस जो है आपके प्रोटीन, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स और फैट, बेसिकली ये 3 मैक्रोस है, इसके बीच में प्ले करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम इंडियंस जो हैं, आई थिंक 80% कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स खाते हैं और बाकी का 20% में थोड़ा सा प्रोटीन और थोड़ा सा फैट आ जाता है. वो फैट भी ज्यादातर गलत ही होता है. यहाँ प्रॉब्लम होती है क्योंकि जितना आप कार्बोहाइड्रेट खाते हैं उसमें से भी अगर आपका 50-60% रिफाइंड कार्बोहाइड्रेट है, तो वही हार्मोन्स का प्रॉब्लम, इंसुलिन का इशू, आपको भूख ज्यादा लगेगी. आपने जैसे ही खाया वो डाइजेस्ट हुआ, ब्लड शुगर बढ़ा, इंसुलिन रिलीज हुआ, अगेन यू बी हंग्री. तो ये बहुत, अगर आप ध्यान से देखेंगे तो एवरीवन विल रियलाइज कि जब आप हाई कार्बोहाइड्रेट मील खाते हैं उसके बाद आपको भूख जल्दी लग जाती है। पर जब आप उसी कार्बोहाइड्रेट मील में थोड़ा प्रोटीन ऐड कर देते हैं, जैसे कि आपने पोहा खाया, सिर्फ पोहा खाया, आपको 2 घंटे बाद फिर से भूख लग जाएगी। पर अगर आपने पोहा खाया, साथ में उसके स्प्राउट्स डाला, कोई प्रोटीन सोर्स डाला या बॉइल्ड एग डाला, तो आपको योर हंगर कैन बी स्ट्रेच टू 4 to 6 आवर्स नेचुरली। ये नहीं कि आप बॉडी फिजियोलॉजी ऐसे काम करेगी कि आपने जैसे प्रोटीन डाइट में डाला आपका हंगर स्ट्रेच हो सकता है, तो ऑब्वियसली आपको भूख नहीं लगेगी। तो देयर आर 1000 थिंग्स टू डू इन द वर्ल्ड इन अ डे। आप सिर्फ खाने के बारे में नहीं सोचेंगे, आप तभी खाने के बारे में सोचेंगे जब अंदर से आपको भूख लगेगी। तो प्रोटीन, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स और फैट का मैक्रोस जो है वही सबसे पहले, जैसे ही चेंज करती हूँ लोगों का, विद इन अ वीक और 2 दे स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग खुद ही कि हम पहले इतना ज्यादा कैसे खाते थे। सडनली हाउ आर वी सो सैटिस्फाइड विद लेस फूड एंड नॉट इवन फीलिंग द पिंच। तो जैसे ही हम ये चेंज करें, प्रोटीन ज्यादा ऐड करें, प्रोटीन का कंजम्पशन काफी लो है हमारे कंट्री में, नॉट बिकॉज I mean people say that because we are vegetarian इसलिए हम प्रोटीन कम खाते हैं, but my personal problem is कि जो वेजिटेरियन हैं वो वेजिटेरियन एक्चुअली नहीं है, वो ग्रेनिटेरियन है, वो ग्रेन ज्यादा खाते हैं। If a meal is just रोटी एंड सब्जी, this is not a vegetarian meal, this is just a granitarian meal, सिर्फ ग्रेन है, सीरियल्स है। सो एक ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझना बहुत जरूरी है। वेजिटेरियन डाइट में भी प्रोटीन पूरा हो सकता है, बट उस पर फोकस करना पड़ता है, एंड वी डोंट फोकस इनफ ऑन प्रोटीन। जहां हमने प्रोटीन ऐड करा इनफ इन द डाइट, जहां हमने गुड फैट्स डाले, बिकॉज अगेन फैट्स सस्टेन आवर एपेटाइट, डैम्पन आवर एपेटाइट फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड हार्मोन्स को भी स्टेबल रखते हैं। सो दैट इज द ओनली थिंग दैट नीड्स टू बी डन। एंड दूसरा एक और प्रॉब्लम जो मुझे सबकी डाइट में दिखती है, बिसाइड्स द लैक ऑफ प्रोटीन एंड फैट, इज लैक ऑफ फाइबर। फाइबर का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं लोगों को समझ आता। नेचुरल फाइबर का कॉन्सेप्ट है, अच्छा जी हम इसबगोल खा लेंगे रात को, दैट इज नॉट द सोल्यूशन। द सोल्यूशन इज आपके खाने के थ्रू कितना फाइबर जा रहा है, जो कि अगेन एक तो आपको फुल रखता है, आपकी एपेटाइट कम रखता है, दूसरे आपके गट को, स्टमक की फंक्शनिंग को बेटर करता है। जब आपका स्टमक का फंक्शनिंग बेटर होता है, अगेन द होल सिस्टम वर्क्स बेटर। तो थोड़े मैक्रोस चेंज करने से ही ये काम बन जाता है। नॉर्मली for most of the people, just this change can bring their appetite down to quite an extent. There are of course a lot of people जिनमें individual problems होती हैं, जैसे डॉक्टर मिश्रा ने मेंशन करा, सबके साथ सेम रूल नहीं चलता, which is why he is right. The first time it takes me a minimum of an hour with a person. 1 घंटे से कम नहीं लगता मुझे उनको समझने में, और उनकी पास्ट प्रेफरेंसेस, उनकी लाइफस्टाइल, और उसके हिसाब से डाइट बनाने में, और फिर वो भी चेंज करना पड़ता है एज द बॉडी चेंजेस विद टाइम। धीरे धीरे बॉडी भी अडेप्ट करती है। इट्स अ वेरी इंटेलिजेंट एनिमल, ब्रेन एंड बॉडी। हम डाइट में डालते हैं, थोड़े टाइम बाद वो अडेप्ट कर जाती है, देन यू नीड टू अगेन रीचेंज द percentages and everything. So it's an ongoing process. It's not very easy and not very simple, but it's very doable, so nothing to be scared of.
Thank you so much. I was just remembering a very interesting thing, that even the way you cook a food is very important. The satiety of that food changes. जैसे अगर आप आलू को लें, उतने 100 ग्राम या 200 ग्राम आलू लें, अगर उबला हुआ आलू खाएं तो आपका पेट भर जाएगा और काफी देर तक भरा रहेगा, खासतौर पर छिलके के साथ में। लेकिन अगर उसी 200 ग्राम आलू का आप फ्रेंच फ्राई बना के तल के खाएं तो आप उसको बहुत ज्यादा खाएंगे और तब भी आपका पेट नहीं भरेगा। तो कुछ बहुत ये सब छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जो हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे। डॉक्टर अनूप मिश्रा सर, आपसे एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगा इन शॉर्ट, जब आपके पास ऐसा कोई मरीज आता है, सो व्हाट इज द शॉर्ट एडवाइस दैट यू गिव टू पेशेंट, किस तरह की डाइट ली जाए, कुछ स्पेसिफिक?
देखिए, हमारे पेशेंट कई तरीके के होते हैं। एक तो सिंपल ओबेसिटी नॉन डायबिटिक, एक जो डायबिटिक विद ओबेसिटी जो अभी डायग्नोज हुए हैं, और एक बहुत सालों से डायबिटीज है और उनको प्रॉब्लम्स और भी आ रही हैं जैसे किडनी प्रॉब्लम्स। सबको अप्रोच डिफरेंट है। फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स से सिंपलेस्ट अप्रोच एज फार एज ओबेसिटी without diabetes is concerned is, as far as I am concerned, I still believe in calorie restricted diet. मैं कोई फैट डाइट में नहीं जाता, but there is a calorie restricted diet, मतलब मैं आपको सिंपली बता दूं, जैसे कि अगर हमने कैलकुलेट किया कि उनको 1600 कैलोरी या 1800 कैलोरी डालना है, तो हमने 1200 कैलोरी कर दी, और अलॉन्ग विद एक्सरसाइज हमने एडवाइस कर दिया, और we wait for some time and see how much they lose weight. But there are people, we need faster weight loss. Faster weight loss, there are many conditions. The patient is now going into complications, has breathlessness, has हमने देखा तो उसके पैर में वेरिकोज वेन्स भी आ रही हैं, घुटने में भी उसके हड्डियां में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है बिकॉज ऑफ वेट एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो हम फास्ट वेट पे आते हैं और ये पेशेंट को कोई डायबिटीज नहीं है और कोई किडनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो हेयर देयर इज अ फाइट डाइट, जहां तक बात है, जैसे कि कीटो डाइट है, इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग है, और भी जोन डाइट भी बहुत सारी हैं. लेकिन सबसे जो जो पॉपुलर है वो कीटो डाइट और इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग है. उसमें हम केयरफुली कीटो डाइट का हम यूज कर सकते हैं. अब जहां आपने उसकी बात करी थी कि एपेटाइट किसको लेस होगी, तो कीटो डाइट में बिकॉज ऑफ ईदर हाई फैट और हाई प्रोटीन कंटेंट, low carbohydrate, there is a natural aversion to food because of increase in the ketone body, which is acidic, and they decrease the appetite and so on. Fastest weight loss amongst all diet is in keto diet. Have to be careful, has to be under supervision by a trained dietitian as well as physician after conversation with all the patients that what could be a problem also with keto diet. And that there is no long-term study that it is going to be extremely good or something. We are only doing for weight loss in the short-term basis, which is going to be 3 months or so. So that's what, there we use keto diet in there. I'm not a fan of intermittent fasting at all. So most of the time, 95% of decreased calorie diet with enough exercise and change in the behavior of the patient with most of the patients. While in diabetics, we have other options also. For example, apart from diet and lifestyle, there are number of drugs which are available which can decrease weight and which are very, very good drugs. So there is a support, automatic support, because those drugs are used for diabetes, but they also decrease weight. In patients with kidney disease, advanced liver disease, I'm not at all going for any fat diet. And they say, please keep away, and we will go for a just calorie restrictive diet in the most balanced manner so that the liver functions and kidney functions are not affected anymore.
So what do you think of meal replacement solutions and supplements?
Meal replacement. That's where, when Kavita was talking about protein and I was talking about protein, that's where that protein meal replacement may work, or a formula which is a balanced formula with a high protein, high fiber, high MUFA, which can replace the meal. So OptiFast is one formula. What we have done, and we have published this in British Journal of Nutrition, that if we replace 2 meals with a protein drink, which is equivalent calorie as the diet, because of decreased appetite in the other meal and a kick in the metabolism, over 3 months' time, a randomized control trial published in British Journal of Nutrition, we showed that weight decreases, appetite decreases, all the blood sugar parameters, these were not a diabetic patient, but sugar decreased, liver function test became better. So meal replacement is the option, and simplest option, because it's something like intermittent fasting. Simplest option. You just say, भाई ये आप एक मील हटा दो और ये ले लो, बाकी आप बैलेंस करो. और जो इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग है उसमें भी यही है, 8 घंटा आप ले लो जो करना हो और आप बाकी उतना फास्ट करो. तो ये सिंपलेस्ट है फ्रॉम अ डाइटिशियन एंड फिजिशियन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कि भाई ये बताना सिंपलेस्ट है. कैलोरी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड डाइट में बताना ही मुश्किल है और उसमें बहुत टाइम लगेगा. बट आई एम अ कंजर्वेटिव गाय एंड आई हैव followed the calorie restricted diet for 30 years, and I have most of our patients I have done very well.
That was really very interesting. अगर किसी को मील रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं समझ में आया तो मील रिप्लेसमेंट कुछ पाउडर या पेटेंटेड फॉर्मूला आते हैं, उनको पानी में मिला के पिया जाता है खाने की जगह, मतलब एक कोई खाना या 2 खाने का समय, लंच डिनर जैसे सर बता रहे थे. And these are very useful, as sir was telling, and he has made publication on that also. So now this question, I would request both of you to participate. Give us names of few foods, कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो हम खा सकें अगर हमें कैलोरी रिस्ट्रिक्ट करनी है, लेकिन हमें पेट भी भरना है, और पेट ऐसे भरना है कि शरीर भी काम करता रहे, हमें जो शरीर में आवश्यक तत्व हैं, विटामिन है, मिनरल हैं, ये भी मिलते रहें। तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें बताइए जो हम खा के पेट भर सकते हैं, दिन में कितनी बार खा सकते हैं? प्लीज कविता जी, यू स्टार्ट। Yes,
सबसे पहले तो
I'll come to you.
I want to talk about fruits here, because जितना भी मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है 25 साल में, मैं जब भी हैबिट्स ऑडिट करती हूँ या लाइफस्टाइल ऑडिट करती हूँ लोगों का, फ्रूट्स का मेंशन सबसे कम मिलता है मुझे। रोटी ब्रेड खाया, लंच में रोटी खाया, डिनर में राइस खाया, बीच में स्नैक्स खाया, वेयर आर द फ्रूट्स? सो फ्रूट्स मुझे कभी नहीं दिखते। फ्रूट्स खाने के बेनिफिट्स जो हैं, एक बारी जब किसी को समझ आ जाए और फील भी हो जाए, थोड़े टाइम खाने के बाद उनको खुद को भी लगने लगेगा कि क्या चेंजेस आ रहे हैं बॉडी में, उसके बाद वो कभी फ्रूट्स खाना नहीं छोड़ते हैं। पहला बेनिफिट, जो हमारे इंडियंस पर्टिकुलरली हैव अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ स्वीट क्रेविंग्स, हर मील के बाद कुछ मीठा खाने की जरूरत है। Within 1 or 2 weeks of including 2 fruits in their diet, कोई स्टडी नहीं करी है मैंने, but as an average, my observation over last 25 years, I can tell you, their cravings for sweets comes down naturally, which is very obvious, क्योंकि आप कुछ मीठा खा रहे हैं, आपकी बॉडी को, माइंड को कुछ मीठा मिल रहा है। That is the first benefit. मीठे की क्रेविंग कम होती है तो weight loss, very obviously, it's very supportive for weight loss. Second benefit, it's the best way to include fiber in our diet, जो कि already बहुत lacking है सबकी डाइट में। I feel fiber again is hugely lacking in most our diets. तो वो फाइबर अपने आप ऐड हो जाता है, आपने जैसे ही 2 सर्विंग ऑफ फ्रूट्स ऐड करे अपनी डाइट में। तीसरा बेनिफिट, आपको मल्टीपल न्यूट्रिएंट्स मिलते हैं, मल्टीपल न्यूट्रिएंट्स, विदाउट यू हैविंग टू फोकस ऑन कि मुझे जी पोटेशियम मिला कि नहीं, मुझे मतलब एक एक को आप काउंट नहीं करते हैं। आप वैरायटी ऑफ फ्रूट्स खाते हैं तो आप एक स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स, विटामिन्स एंड मिनरल्स एंड एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स कवर कर लेते हैं। दिस इज द थर्ड बेनिफिट ऑफ फ्रूट्स। चौथा बेनिफिट, एंजाइम्स। हमारी गट हेल्थ के बारे में तो I mean, it can be a completely different webinar altogether, जिसमें पूरा 1 घंटा उस पर बात हो सकती है कि गट हेल्थ कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है, और उसके लिए एंजाइम्स और रॉ फूड खाना एक सर्टेन अमाउंट इन अ डे इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट. सो दैट ऑल्सो गेट्स टेकन केयर ऑफ व्हेन यू ऐड फ्रूट्स टू योर डाइट. सो ये एक फर्स्ट चेंज आई वुड लाइक एवरीवन टू मेक कॉन्शियसली. अगर आप टाइम फिक्स करके फ्रूट्स अपनी डाइट में डालें और उसको एज अ रूल, एज अ रिचुअल फॉलो करें, तो you will be able to cover a lot of bases, not just weight loss, for nutrition also. So that is the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about is कि the calories are very important. We talk about them all the time, और एक वो broad framework के बिना weight loss हो नहीं सकता कि आप certain number of calories काटें, although approximate होता है सब कुछ, बहुत obsessive होने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. किसी दिन 1200 हो गया, किसी दिन 1100 हो गया, किसी दिन 1300, तो the world is not going to end. But more than the calories, I personally believe कि अगर हम फोकस कर सकें न्यूट्रिशन पे, इफ वी कैन फोकस कि हम जो खा रहे हैं वही 1200 कैलोरी में हमारी जो क्वालिटी ऑफ फूड है वो हम कैसे इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं. द मोमेंट वी स्टार्ट प्लेटिंग फूड दैट इज बेटर फॉर अस, हेल्दी फॉर अस, जो वेट लॉस है वो नेचुरली अपने आप हो जाएगा. आपको कैलोरी काउंटिंग करना ही नहीं पड़ेगा, बिकॉज व्हेन यू स्टार्ट ईटिंग बेटर फूड, आप इतना ही खाना खाएंगे ना दिन में, बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट ईटिंग बेटर फूड्स एट दैट टाइम्स, योर वेट लॉस विल हैपन नेचुरली. Health to improve होगा ही होगा. So these are the two big changes. And तीसरा, nuts, also very underestimated. I feel nuts and seeds even more. Nuts तो फिर भी बादाम जबरदस्ती सबको खिलाए जाते हैं thankfully Indian homes में, but seeds are very underrated, very very underrated. I feel nuts and seeds as a compulsion, a certain amount every day should be added to every diet. एक तो वो appetite को कंट्रोल करते हैं. यू फील फुल मिड मॉर्निंग, अगर आपको कभी भी भूख लगती है, थोड़े से नट्स खा लेंगे, टिल योर नेक्स्ट मील यू विल बी सॉर्टेड. सेकंड, गुड फैट्स डालने का जो रेशियो है गुड फैट वर्सेस बैड फैट का, वो भी सबका बहुत बिगड़ा हुआ है. To improve that, this is a very good way of doing it, to add by adding nuts and seeds, roasted seeds in our diet. So these 3 things I wanted to mention.
Thank you so much, sir. आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे?
Yeah,
Is there
there are
something
couple of
for zero calorie food?
there are a couple of things to decrease diet, and there is yet healthy snacks. And already Kavita has said about the fruits, and I will focus on one type of fruit, and that is berries. Berries are rather understated. They are, although available everywhere, but some are more expensive. So blueberries are very expensive. So I am not saying about blueberries at all. But jamun are a very good, as far as appetite is concerned, and they're seasonal, of course. But these days, many other berries are available. So berries are very good, and berries are one of the best as far as the polyphenols, etc., are concerned. So you should take berries intermittently when you feel hungry. The protein biscuits, there are plenty of them available, or multigrain biscuits. If you take अगर भूख लगे आपको तो 4 से 6 बिस्किट आप ले लीजिए, प्रोटीन भी जाएगा आपको और आपको एपेटाइट भी कम हो जाएगी. Already Kavita has said about almond, pistachios and also अखरोट, तीनों चीजें. तो अगर आप एक मुट्ठी में एक जार में तीनों मिलाकर रख लें, एक मुट्ठी में से ले लें और जब भी थोड़ा सा वो आप आधा मुट्ठी खा लें, आपकी एपेटाइट नेक्स्ट 2 आवर्स के लिए बिल्कुल कम हो जाएगी. सिमिलरली नींबू पानी विद फ्लैक्स सीड, जैसे सीड कहा उन्होंने, तो सीड उसमें डाल दीजिए, नींबू पानी डाल दीजिए और 2 ग्लास पानी आप ले लीजिए विदाउट सॉल्ट और शुगर. सैलेड आर वेरी गुड इंटरमिटेंट सैलेड टू डिक्रीज एपेटाइट. उसमें टोमेटोज आर द थिंग्स दैट यू शुड टेक मोर. एक और चीजें कई लोगों ने कही है, कितनी सही है कितनी गलत है ये मुझको नहीं पता, बट ग्रीन टी विद मल्टीग्रेन, ग्रीन टी इज वन एंड सप्लीमेंट विद मल्टीग्रेन बिस्किट. अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग ले सकते हैं, बीच में ले सकते हैं या शाम को ले सकते हैं. So these are some of the things which have been shown to decrease appetite, as well as they are a very good healthy snack and they are available everywhere.
I'll quickly shoot some questions about myths which are prevalent. So please you clarify क्या है कि नहीं है. नींबू पानी के बारे में आपने बताया, you yourself recommend. I've seen that in many recommendations of dietitians. Is it good to have नींबू पानी every day? Does it help in weight loss?
Well, I would say that नींबू पानी is something which is not doing any worse off. You're not worse off. There may be some satiety because of the volume, as well as maybe character of the drink. It is not something like a sugar sweetened beverages where it will increase calorie. So I think this is a pretty good option for a drink, and you can take every day. Whether at all it leads to weight loss or not, I can't say. I don't think it does.
Wonderful. Some people have this idea that खाने से पहले बहुत ज़्यादा पानी पीने से वजन कम होता है. Many people drink a lot of water before having food. Is that right?
Well, let me tell you something. That there may be some volume filling because of water, and you may temporarily decrease your overall food intake, but in 1 hour or 1.5 hours time, you will pass this water out and you will feel hungry. So ultimately, result is the same. It is not an appetite suppressant. It is just volume filler, and which will go away in 1 hour time. You will urinate it and pass it off.
Okay, and shortly.
Yeah, I just want to add here that, but hydration is a huge problem. I feel hydration is such a big problem with most people that bringing it up to a normal level consciously is very important. People are not drinking enough water. So when they start drinking enough water, not just before meals, even I don't believe in that you fill yourself stomach with water just before meal, but through the day, if you spread water, just that alone is a huge appetite dampener. A lot of times when we think we are hungry, we are actually thirsty. So if you drink water first and see whether you're really hungry or your body was demanding water, it will work very well.
So frequently we advise our patients, especially diabetic patients, that you have a lot of zero-calorie food. जैसे सब्जी बहुत ज़्यादा खाइए, उससे वजन भी नहीं बढ़ता, शुगर भी नहीं बढ़ती. Does the same thing apply to people with obesity? Can we ask them to take a lot of, let's say, vegetables, जैसे कोई भी सब्जी, घिया, तोरी, लौकी, and all those things, that they add to the volume but not to the calories? Is it true, sir?
Absolutely. But सब्जी ये खाना कि आप vegetable खाइए कोई भी और ज़्यादा खाइए, that becomes a problem, because then the roots, vegetables and things like that, those are eaten often. It is the green leafy vegetable, most number one. Green leafy vegetable. आप चाहे वो मेथी का साग हो, चाहे पालक का हो, any of these. कई लोग मूली का साग बनाते हैं. And then there are green vegetables. तो वो आप बाकी सब कह रहे हैं. So those have very low calories and they are very good as far as multiple nutrients. कविता वो पहले बता रही थी multiple nutrients उसमें होते हैं, fruits में होते हैं, वो काफी nutrients उसमें भी होते हैं. So these are pretty good. But if you say all vegetables, तो उसमें वो आलू भी खा लेंगे और बाकी सब, तो those are things which are not good.
quickly, what is the good bread? Because there's so many breads available. Anything to do with the type of bread? Because maida is said to increase weight and the time of having food. ऐसा कुछ है कि अगर रात का खाना skip करें तो better weight loss होता है या सुबह का करें? These two things.
Kavita, may I answer that?
Yeah, sure. So, रात का first I'll address this. रात का खाना skip करना, that is the worst news for trying to lose weight. अगर आप रात कोई भी meal skip करते हैं, that's bad news. Especially अगर आप रात को बिल्कुल नहीं खा के सोएंगे, तो भी it's bad because one, you won't sleep well, and secondly, when you get up not feeling rested in the morning, your next day will go for a 6 and your metabolism will dip, and that's not good news for weight loss. In fact, I suggest a lot of people to have khichdi for dinner, because this combination of rice and dal works very well, and not just fills a person up, but it is easily digestible, and a person sleeps better because of the release of serotonin and everything. Let's not get into that. But what I'm trying to say is, trying to skip any meal is never going to work. Once in a while it's okay, but trying to lose weight by skipping meals will backfire. That's the first thing. And second thing about bread, I'm not a huge fan of bread. I try and remove, because most people have commercial bread because that's the only one which is available easily. And those are not just very high sodium, but they're all made from refined carbs. So with carbs, I keep at least 80% of carbs, try to keep 80% of carbs as whole. So if a person can source a bread, like a fermented bread, like sourdough or something, which is difficult to actually, then it's fine. But otherwise, I restrict bread to quite an extent in their diet.
I'll
So,
just
yes.
I'll just comment, and Rajesh, I have to go after that, so
Yes, sir.
you may after that.
Yes, we'll summarize, sir. We'll just close.
Yeah. I totally second Kavita, and those who can afford, and it is not available frequently. Sourdough bread is one of the best breads actually, and the glycemic index of this bread, and we often say in patients with diabetes, sourdough bread they should have. The second bread, which is also not available frequently, is the sprouted whole grain 100% bread. Now that is a slightly different from the whole grain bread and whole wheat bread and so on. So sprouted, this is a live type of food, and so bread has to be restricted, no doubt, but some breads are better than the others, and if you can get it, these are expensive breads also, not available everywhere.
Thank you, sir. I would request Anil Rajputji, sir, to summarize and to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra and Dr. Kavita, for very, very elaborate and extensive knowledge sharing with all the participants. It is very difficult to summarize today's session because Dr. Anup Mishra gave a very, very detailed description of on the diabetes, and I'm sure all the listeners would have taken copious notes and many takeaways that he had mentioned. That obesity, 30% of cancer is due to obesity, and it's a very, very alarming figure. And people would have taken note of it. How critical it is for everybody to keep themselves in the right weight and right BMI, because not only it will help your overall body structure, it will also ensure that other diseases don't come close to you. Another very important aspect that I learned today, that at lower weight, we are developing more problems. So it is, at the end of the day, it is the right weight what is important. Thank you very much, Dr. Mishra, for sharing great insight about several issues. And thank you, Dr. Kavita. That there are no quick fix. She mentioned, if you have, if you are obese, if you have extra weight, there are no shortcuts to it. Answer is in the step-by-step approach. That was the takeaway, and I'm sure people would have taken a note of it. adding several things to your diet. I mean, but you need protein also, you need fiber, you need, for that matter, other ingredients. So it has to be, at the end of the day, balanced diet. You know, if you take all these fad, which will give reduction to your weight, may not be really good for your overall internal system. Consumption of fruits and nuts and all that you mentioned, and I'm sure people will add this to their diet pattern. And thank you very much, Dr. Mishra, sharing that, you know, people must have berries and jamuns and all in their overall diet. At the end of the day, hydration is something that you all mentioned, that people must continue keep themselves hydrated because it helps overall metabolism and good system. Thank you very much to Dr. Rajesh Kesri for keeping this session very engaging, useful, simple for the benefit of the audience. And thank you, team SHM, for organizing such a wonderful session. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was very interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.